Josh McDaniels is the worst head coach in the National Football League. If you want the Raiders to fire Josh McDaniels, I want you to spam it down below. I am sick and tired of watching this person try to put together a football plan because he's got to be one of the most mindless human beings I have ever seen put on a clipboard, put on a headset, wear that stupid visor. I'm done with it, man. The Raiders are now 1-3, and Josh McDaniels took a playoff caliber team. I get it. Maybe some people don't look at the Raiders' old team back in 2021 with Rich Bisaccia as a playoff caliber team, but you took a team that went 10-7, made the playoffs, and you have turned them into one of the worst teams in the National Football League. Who could have predicted it? Me. Every person alive, because Josh McDaniels might be a great offensive-minded coach, which he's not. The Raiders have scored 55 total points, or 57 through 4 games. But Josh McDaniels is the type of coach that refers to players as numbers and not names. And if you can't get a group of men to rally behind you, you're never going to be a good head coach in the NFL. And right now, this team, they don't rally behind Josh McDaniels. And I mean, I get it. Aidan O'Connell was bad today. Like, let's keep it a buck here, right? I wore an Aidan O'Connell jersey. I shaved my face for AOC. Aidan O'Connell had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, an interception that came at a very costly time. But you also got to be able to look yourself in the mirror there, Josh McDaniels, and understand that, hey, I got a first down and goal. Ball at the 3-yard line. And I'm going to decide to do a rollout where I take over half the field. Like, I hate rollouts to the right side. You take away half the field. Why not run the ball with Josh Jacobs? There was an opportunity earlier in that game, and I get it. It's 24-17. You could have kicked a 57-yard field goal with Daniel Carlson. Making this game 24-20, it is a lot different football game. And you decide to punt. You have one of the best kickers in the league. It's just time and time again. Every single week, Josh McDaniels continually shows that he is in no way, shape, or form meant to be a head coach in the NFL. He's not. I literally think this. Any single person breathing right now, if you could be a better head coach than Josh McDaniels, I want you to spam me right now. I could be a better head coach. Jeremy Choke could be a better head coach. Jay Powers, Raider B-Dog, Graphic Raider, Raider Cody, Sanjeet, Simone Raider. Hell, you all know how much I hate Wi-Fi Willie. I think Wi-Fi Willie might be a better head coach than the Raiders right now because Josh McDaniels has no idea what to do. He has no idea. Who's to blame for this loss? It's McDaniels. And that's the only answer here. Time and time and time and time again, when you're not only stacked up against the refs, and there's a lot of bad calls in today's game. Justin Herbert did not score a touchdown on the one play. How they didn't review it, I don't have an answer to that. But when you have a bad head coach in McDaniels, and then your roster also sucks, you're already behind the 8 ball. If you want somebody to blame, you put it on the head coach. If I was a father and my kids were screwing up in school, guess who I'm blaming? I'm blaming myself. Right now, you got a bunch of kids that are screwing up. They have no idea what they're doing, and you put that blame on Josh McDaniels. I know. Aidan O'Connell did not play well. 24-39, 238 yards, and an interception. And 2 fumbles, and 2 very costly fumbles. But you decided to sign Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm not sitting up here and saying concussion injuries are easy to predict. But if I would have asked Raider Nation at the beginning of the season, how many of y'all think that Jimmy Garoppolo ends up missing at least 1 game this season? I bet you 99.9% of the people would have said at least 1 game for Jimmy Garoppolo's going to miss. So you put your rookie quarterback in a tough situation, and you did. And the fact that you have Brian Hoyer as your backup shows that you have no confidence in Brian Hoyer. Why is he even a member of this football team? Just make him a coach. If that's all he is a coach. You put your rookie in a very, very tough situation. Why not run the football with Jacobs, who, if you watch that game near the end, they started to run the football pretty damn effectively. They started to be able to use Jacobs pretty damn effectively. But no, you couldn't do that because you're too proud. You look at yourself in the mirror, and I feel like McDaniels just looks at himself and he feels like I can do nothing wrong. This loss is 150% on Josh McDaniels. And what's so frustrating is you got the best fans in all of sports, man. You got a diehard fan base that just loves this team through and through. But I'm telling you right now, Mark Davis, you're going to lose a lot of people. And if you care about money, you care about your pockets, the best thing that you could possibly do right now is to fire the clown that you got a head coach. And don't get me wrong. Right now, the Raiders are in the race for Caleb Williams. Right now, the Raiders are in the race for Drake May. They're in a race for a top 5 pick because right now, I'd say it's between the Chicago Bears, the Denver Broncos, and the Las Vegas Raiders for the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, which is a gut punch. It's a kick to the nuts. I'm so upset right now that I'm trying to stay calm as best as I possibly can, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Josh McDaniels is the worst thing to happen to this Raiders team in such a long time. And until Mark Davis realizes what the hell's going on, he's just as much at fault. My question to you is this, though. And this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, man. If you could pick a starter for next week, who would you go with? Would you go with Jimmy Garoppolo? Would you go with Aidan O'Connell? I'm telling you right now, I'd still go with Aidan O'Connell. I would rather see what the rookie has. I would rather see what the rookie has. Because I know Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw the football around. And I'd rather see what we got in the young guy in AOC because he opened up the running game. He opened up the game for Josh Jacobs. And, you know, you're going to get those lumps when you got a rookie. You're going to get those tough games because you're putting a rookie in a situation they've never been in. But I still believe that Aidan O'Connell is a better option than Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'd be curious to see what you guys have to say. Now, I know this, man. I know probably y'all watching this live, watching this on a later date, like, Mitch, I don't want to hear from a sponsor, but I'll tell you this right now. The biggest pat on the back that you guys could ever do yourself is giving some love here to PrizePicks because I've been doing this show for a long time. And for those of you that are real ones out there, and if you're a real one, spam RO4L, you know that I'm a fantasy guy through and through. And the fact that we got a sponsor like PrizePicks on this show, I love y'all to the end of the world and back. And that's a huge thank you to you, and you deserve to pat yourself on the back. So PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy app. So if y'all don't know, here are going to be my picks for Monday Night Football. I got Geno Smith, less yards, Daniel Jones, more passing yards, Kenneth Walker, give me the more on that as well, and Darren Waller. I will always take the less on Darren Waller as well. I mean, I think fantasy is cool because even if your team stinks like the Raiders, you still have the ability to be able to watch some football games and have a good time. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and make sure you use code CLNS. I've been playing PrizePicks for a very long time, and I think for people out there that have to watch this Raiders team day in and day out, you're going to enjoy a lot of Raiders games a lot more if you use our awesome sponsor here. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS. For first-time deposit match up to $100. Link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Let's go to Just for Kicks. Feel horrible for Crosby, Jacobs, and Adams. Wouldn't blame them for wanting out of Vegas. I'll tell you this right now. When the NFL trade deadline comes up November 1st, Crosby, I talk to him on a weekly basis. He will never ask for a trade. Max Crosby will not ask for a trade. He is the face of this franchise. He ain't going anywhere. Davante Adams, on the other hand, I got told by a source a few weeks ago that or I shouldn't say a few days ago, that Davante's not happy, and he shouldn't be, and he has an out clause. Davante has an opportunity to ask for a trade, and I don't think anybody out there could blame Davante because he knows he's still one of the best receivers in the league. He's got to deal with Josh McDaniels as the head coach. Ira, fire him at the end of the season. I know there's a lot of Raider fans that want McDaniels to be fired at the end of the season. Here's the balance. You keep McDaniels because you know if you keep Josh McDaniels, you have the opportunity for a top 5 pick. Or do you fire him and try to have an opportunity going forward, right? Like, you're 1-3 right now. You barely beat the Denver Broncos, one of the worst teams in the NFL, who just beat Chicago Bears this week. Coming up, you got the Green Bay Packers, the New England Patriots, and the Chicago Bears. 3 of the worst teams in the NFL right now. If you suck against those teams, it's time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe we decide to keep Josh McDaniels after all. But here's the other problem. I don't trust Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler to make the right choice for a quarterback in next year's draft. King Richard, take this season on the chin. Bright side, McDaniels is gone after this year. I hope so. But I don't know if Mark Davis is smart enough. Like, that's what scares me the most. I'm so worried that we have an incompetent Raiders owner that they end up with Josh McDaniels as the head coach next season with a top 5 pick. Are you confident McDaniels and Ziegler to be able to make the right choice? I don't think I am. I don't. John Doe, despite a horribly cold game, we were one pass and push off from a possible time. I mean, we were one play away You turned the ball over 3 times against a Chargers team. You were 1 play away. Now we're tied we're in 3rd place, the AFC West now. What up, Ja? Get rid of McDumdum as soon as possible. Even if he had challenged the Adams touchdown, we would have had more time to recover. Yeah, it's rough, man. Gerald, hire the Lions OC and draft Williams. I would say right now that probably my number 1 candidate to be the next Raiders head coach. Probably either I might go Dan Quinn or it's the Lions OC. I love Dan Quinn. But also the Lions OC's got to be up there as well. He's 36. I smoke wax. You know what? I smoke wax. This is on me. I smoke wax. Bang! Fire McDum and take a shot with me, Mitch and Chugs. You know what, dude? I love y'all, and this is why Raider Nation is built different. Even a game like this, we're still rallying. We're still having fun. And I promise you this right now, I'm blacking out tonight. You want to silver and black out with me? Let's get this thing going. Driveway Garage brought in a temp coach a couple years ago and did very well. Maybe doing it again will be the change they needed. The only way you're getting a change is if you fire that clown that you have. Fire the clown, man. Fire the clown. Raider hype, Nate Hobbs, Insta. He seems pissed. I'm tired of the other team getting away with holding Crosby every game. I mean, he probably is upset because he understands, like, if you hold the Los Angeles Chargers to 24 points, you got to win that football game. And the reason why this is on McDaniels is because you had every opportunity this offseason to spend money on the defense. And instead, you decided to spend all your money on the offensive side of the football. And right now, the most points that the Raiders have scored this season is 17 points. You have one of the worst offenses in the National Football League. That's on Josh McDaniels. It's on McDaniels, man. What up, Brian? Why did the Raider fan bring a GPS to the coaching staff meeting? Because they were hoping it would help the team find a winning strategy. Love your Raider Nation and fire Josh McDaniels. I'm going to save that one. What up, Anthony? We was 3 yards away. You were 3 yards away. Can't walk. Fire McDaniels. Who could be the interim head coach? Honestly, it's probably Patrick Graham at that point. King Richard. Oh, man, I'm not going to go to it. Been a Raider fan for 22 years. I've been alive for 22 years. I've never seen the Raiders have a true winning season. This makes it me not want to watch football anymore. And that's going to happen. I don't blame you for not wanting to watch football anymore, but I'll say this. Hopefully you still want to watch the Las Vegas Raiders with me here on the Raiders Report. Wrong way. Fire Josh McDaniels. I hear you, man. I'm so upset right now. Rebel, interceptions hurt. I'm officially 0-4 watching it live. I'm sorry, Rebel. I'm sorry, my brother. Raider Torres, I'll give AOC the benefit of the doubt. It was his first official game. Supposed to be a project quarterback. He was supposed to be a project quarterback. But when you don't put the right players around him, you're going to struggle. Brian Hoyer, why is he on the team? Jimmy Garoppolo, he stinks. You're putting your team and your players in a very, very tough situation. If you want more free Raiders videos, I'll tell you this right now. Tomorrow, Overreaction Monday, it's going to be hot, man. It's going to be a hot one. And Raphael, I know you're spamming Wi-Fi Willie. I'm just going to block you right now on the channel because the only thing worse probably than Wi-Fi Willie might be with Josh McDaniels. And we do way too much for this channel for you to spam that type of bullshit, man. Like, it pisses me off when you do that. I don't like it. He's a guy who's tried to take away everything I've ever worked for. He's a guy who's tried to do a lot of terrible things to my fiance, Alex. And if you support Wi-Fi Willie, honestly, man, I think you're a terrible human being. That's just me being real. Jacob, McDummy saying the last play was the best play as the position joke. Yeah, I mean, Josh McDaniels stinks, dude. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Arizona Tim, bad offensive line. The rookie held up 6 sacks. I mean, think about that. Like, I agree with the idea of this. Like, the fact that the Raiders gave up the amount of sacks they did and they were still in this game, there was opportunities there. There's no doubt there was opportunities there. It's brutal. Brutal. I think that's all the super chats that we got. We'll still go through a few others, but Jeremy's going to push out this video here. I appreciate for everyone tuning in. If you want more Raiders content, hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter, @Mitchell Renz 365. I'm as heartbroken as y'all, and I, continue to lose reasons of why we should accept this Raiders team. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to still do watch parties. I'm going to still rep this team because of y'all. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Peace out to the nation. We'll be back next week.